back at it. The Koreans moving over to China. Of course, EasyHoon only just recently. Pawn has been there for quite some time, but we are into Champions Select. First ban is going to be the Lysandra, and the answering ban, the Ezreal. So Pawn's played one champion so far in the LPL, and it is going to be banned away first up.
So
of course, Deft is a fantastic Ezreal player. You are exactly right. And Rise, no surprises there, but the Quinn going to be banned away at the same time. Vici just don't want to deal with any ranged champions by the looks of things.
Yeah, and the question is, where is the Quinn banned away from also? Because is it Koro or is it Pawn?
Yeah.
We've seen it in 2 lanes so far in the LPL.
Whoa! That's some respect to EasyHoon. As of course, that's 3 champions that he could be playing here, but the Azir being banned on 5.24?
Yeah. I mean, there's still a virus available for Pawn if he wanted to, so banning away the Azir says they've definitely respected the Hoon.
Yeah, well, Lulu's available, Alistair's available, Trundle's available. My god, there are so many champions up right now. Vici, Lulu, Trundle. Log it in right now. I mean, I think my brain is telling me that that's sort of the only option here. What other choices are there? Of course, Rek'Sai is available as well.
Yeah, Rek'Sai Thresh
Graves
is another option. Graves is always worth picking up on top of those guys. The question is always how they want to put their drafting into place. And looking across the board, Dandy, he'd be comfortable on a strong champion like Rek'Sai. Can play Graves also, so likely see a first rotation jungle pickup to take that away from Clearlove, whichever they so choose. EasyHoon doesn't necessarily want to be a first rotation pick order either, so going for that Lulu could be a risk, and they may put it towards Lung if they went for that, whereas the Trundle / Poppy, there can be the double
Lung has
flex.
been playing a lot of Poppy.
Would
That
be
is
very
another
smart.
power pick there, so it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, Dandy, I find this really interesting. Of course, he's a fantastic flexible jungler, was known for his Rengar as well as his more supportive play. But I do like him on the Rek'Sai just because he's so good at controlling space, getting vision, and that Tremor Sense only makes that easier. But now EDG, their turn to hover the troll for a little while.
It's interesting to watch the dynamic of Vici's decision-making there. Do we go for the Trundle, or do we go for the Poppy? They already knew they wanted to take Graves away from Clearlove.
Yeah.
And they prioritized what is potentially going to be that top laner threat. Does very well into tanks in the top lane Poppy, so...
Well, Corki has been locked in by Pawn right now, and Clearlove taken away the troll. Corki, fantastic flex pick at the moment, can be moved between mid and AD carry, but Deft is arguably the best Corki player in the world, so I wouldn't be surprised if that went over to him, but also, Pawn is just known for playing basically every champion.
Yep.
So, either way, still very flexible. Trundle, of course, top or bottom lane. Mako could pick that one up. And EasyHoon now able to get the sort of 4th round Lulu pickup.
Does it mean they're flexing their support as a last pick if they were to go for a draft like this? The Braum's always a possibility to pick up here, give a little bit of extra frontline and dodge a lot of Corki's damage. If they went for another poke-oriented AD carry here for Deft and or a poke for Pawn, such as the Varus, they might flex it and put a Braum in the support role. But it says to me, by doing what they are now, that their top laner is what's being flexed, not their support.
Oh man, last pick Mundo, give it to Dandy and then go top lane Graves, which has just been ridiculous at the moment. Not in competitive play. It's just
Creative.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
I get excited about weird stuff that could possibly go on. EDG though, their last couple of picks to come up. We'll now find out whether it is going to be Pawn playing that Corki or whether it is going to be Deft. Deft giving nothing away in his face right now.
I would imagine it's a mid-Corki.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that as well at the moment.
Misfortune's a decent option here.
Oh, Twisted Fate would go against that.
And just generally having mobility would be... You just do you, EDG.
The double global.
I'm just going to sit here and let you pick.
Yeah. That's the hover, though, so it may not be picked up. We'll just give it some time.
Just feels so right, though. Like,
I know, right? It's happening. I think it's happening.
oh, it's glorious.
Okay, so we do have the Paranoid Gate combo.
It's just
Paranoid.
so good.
Yeah, Paradestiny. Destinoia.
See.
Destinoia. We'll lock that one in. That can be it. Braum, though, exactly what you were talking about. The consideration now for Caveman, as it does mean that Lung will be playing the Poppy in the top lane. No surprises here for Vici, who have just locked in their own champion all the way down the line if this is going to be the option.
That's actually great.
Yeah. Can't be bothered giving anything away.
Effective drafting.
Damn right. Efficient drafting.
The best part is they are somewhat flex picks also.
Exactly,
so
exactly,
yeah. EDG, of course, with their full team comp locked in here, as Vici have now joined them, and that was right.
Oh, man, I love this, though. And Clearlove going to a full carry right now. I know, well, not necessarily full carry, but you see Nocturne, you think Swift, utterly dominating the game with that paranoia.
Yeah, straight onto the back line. And
yeah.
Something that I can immediately raise a concern for here is they're running a Lulu Callista composition, which I don't exactly admire.
No, I don't like it as much either.
So this is something we saw yesterday, and it still worked, and that's because there's a Graves in the jungle.
Lulu Graves situation.
So you're able to work with the Graves. He can afford to build more offensively if need be, go straight into a Ghost Blade option, and then maybe work towards the Maw, skip the Sterix Gauge, go for more damage if it comes down to it. You've got a Lulu ultimate to power you up.
Yeah, and of course, being the low range as well, the extra slow with everyone around you with that wild growth is also so powerful, something that we don't necessarily see as much when it's the long-range AD carries like the Tristanas or the Kog'Maws with this Lulu. So it's going to be even more useful here. Of course, can be used for long if he wants to go full linebacker there into the backline and try to destroy Deft. But there's just so many threats on this team. It does mean, of course, Koro going to be playing the Trundle in the top lane, as Mako had already first picked that Alistar. So we've seen this matchup before. Poppy doesn't do badly at all into that Trundle.
No, actually does quite well.
Oh, we'll see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen, as we're ready to get onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the ref for game number 1 between EDG and Vici Gaming. As you can see, Easy Hoon already getting the vision down here in the river. So far, no lane swaps look to be coming out. As Deft and Mako probably more than happy to go into that 2v2 lane as the Corki Alistar. But we'll see how Endless and Caveman do on the Braum Callista.
It's a vicious cycle, that 2v2 in the bottom lane. You have the level 1 spike of a Braum and Callista combo.
Yep.
And then you've got the level 2 spike of a Corki with an Alistar being able to utilize that combo. And a very unique thing that we're seeing thus far is everyone starting with Triumphant Roar.
Yeah.
And starting the jungle camps to get extra experience and keep themselves a bit healthier whilst they do those camps and sustain to level 2. And that's where they actually don't have power points now for Deft and Mako if they take that
Making it into
route.
more of a level 3 power spike.
Exactly right.
I'll see whether Vici can utilize that, as long as just going to help Dandy out, clearing out the beginning of his jungle, starting over here on these Krugs. He's going to be more than healthy as he smites that big one away. Long just making his way back, and standard lanes are going to ensue.
It's almost frustratingly healthy.
Yeah.
Graves just doesn't lose health. I mean, just jungle's so safe. And the reason you even pick him is wave clear in side lanes when people try and siege towers, and his ability to stay at full health while clearing jungles. There's no untimely recalls.
No.
He's always able to be there.
That's why we often see them going these refillable potions, which he has got in his back pocket here as well, just to make sure that he's always at full health. And just get a lot more value out of that. But you can see already EDG suffering here in this lane as Endless chugging through one of his potions. Deft as well, so they answered back quite nicely. But you can see already scuffles ensuing.
Of course, both teams suffering from that. Volatile lane now to consider for both junglers moving forward, but Clearlove is a very low Nocturne, whereas Dandy is the one capable of ganking. It's the polar opposites, essentially, between these junglers and their points of power.
Yeah. You can see Clearlove just heading back to base now as well, just to grab himself a couple of extra items.
I love this top lane matchup, by the way. It's so great. They just hit each other the whole time, and like no one, but they do more, like it's not a wet noodle fight. That's the best part, is they do damage the entire time. It's just that they never take damage. So they destroy each other and they destroy minions. but no one dies.
And there's so much sustain. I mean, I know it's a little bit pseudo-sustain on the side of the Poppy with the shield, but it's a lane where you can afford to just beat on each other.
That's what they do. They beat to the sound over their own drums. Just low cooldown, biting people and slamming in the ground angrily. But hey.
5.24 as well, everyone, just as another reminder, as it is going to be able to eat turrets, which I think is thematically weird, but does make him a very, very strong top laner because of the split push capability. Can take down a turret very quickly, especially as the game moves on. Pawn takes his little lance. You can see relatively frustrated about that, but this is Pawn's Twisted Fate. This guy just doesn't care about, like, even if he dies 3 times in lane, he can still change the fate of the game.
He's gone for boots as well, first item, so naturally should be losing in poke trades in middle lane, but looks relatively happy, so it's a very good start here.
Yeah, Koro actually going aggressive. That Mastery doing work for him as well. As, oh man, this is
still lost
from this guy.
Koro still lost the trade.
He did.
He got an extra auto attack here, but the Q, and that's what makes this matchup so good for Poppy. So Trundle has to be in range to bite you like that. That's a free Q on his face.
Yeah.
And for a champion that gets a lot of health, really does work.
But King's Tribute doing work here for Koro as well, making sure that he keeps up in health. Has chugged through the entirety of that Corrupting Potion though, and it looks like Jungle is spending some time up the top lane as Dandy probably will just go towards those Krugs, but he's waiting for any potential gank from Clearlove. Of course, Dandy known for just phenomenal counter gank timing as a jungler. Pawn's shoving up this mid lane.
Pretty hard to counter gank a Nocturne though.
True.
Considering he won't gank until about level 6 unless he gets his eye in on a fantastic position. And that's very hard to counter gank as it is because it's a Nocturne who blackens out the map.
Yeah. Well, Dandy's actually found Clearlove here. Quick draws forward. There's the fear. Gets the bounce back on the end of the line, and I mean, that's an aptly named skill. As Dandy's forced Clearlove to go back to base. Not going to start up the Gromp.
But again, boots of swiftness for Dandy.
Yeah, that's what we saw last night as well.
Yeah. Checking to see that Clearlove recalled before he started the Gromp. So, caution to the wind. Knows that he's actually lacking a lot of damage without his spell rotation available. So, waits for that before starting the Gromp safely.
And you can imagine Clearlove probably expecting this just a little bit as well because you're not exactly the strongest moving around the jungle early on. As Caveman finds his way in deft, already with a couple of procs. One more will get the stun, but Endless nowhere near it. That's going to time out. There it is, deft, not going to be stunned up. And Endless now may have to be careful as Phosphorus Bomb's there. A lot of trade damage back. As Mako has just shrugged it off, no worries.
That was all Mako. Headbutting away Endless was the right play. There was no point touching Caveman once the spell rotation was already out.
Yep.
And Deft can just walk away from Caveman and not get stunned by the Braum passive. And Deft actually coming back in to help Mako with that trade. And they win the trade in a situation that Vici were engaging.
Yeah, Deft now able to push out this wave as well, as you see Endless maybe wanting to get a shop in. Deft just shoves away forward, means that they'll be able to get a free one.
What's Pawn building?
Pawn's building Lucidity Boots into maybe a Lich Bane?
Well, that's a Magi.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So he's got the Dark Seal there as well. Maybe not going for Suicide Twisted Fate, which is largely what he does.
He waited in base as well for gold for that. So, I mean, he certainly set his goals.
Yep. I think he's still thinking about that RNG game, where Pawn wasn't exactly having the best time. And saying that, well, this is going to be a good game, guys.
That's just the manliest build to ever exist. Yep. Danny could, like, look at you. He can just glare in your eyes and you'll die.
Well, he's got a stick, he's got a ring, and he's got some shoes, man. Still feeling good. As level 6 has been hit by Long, you can see a lot of trade damage. As that Grasp of the Undying goes off for Koro, but it's not enough. Destiny comes out. He's underneath the turret. He lands the gold card, though. The ultimate's there, untargetable, so that's going to be the turret switching. And Pawn just says, all right, that's a pretty easy set of stacks. Let's move on. That was
consolidating, I guess, look. Did use the ultimate to knock him up. Ensure that Pawn couldn't get the kill. All things considered.
That Destiny placement was stunning.
That was great.
Oh, man.
Just a good gank all in all. Of course, Clearlove being level 6 was the biggest deal there. Massive change, I guess, swing in the top lane for Trundle, because Koro has pushed himself quite far ahead in farm already, trying to keep Lung under the turret. Lung was only winning in trades. Well, now he's even further behind.
Exactly right. Now Magic Mantle picked up by Pawn. Looks like Abyssal Scepter going to be the first item option, making sure that he can handle this lane.
The blue card hero.
Exactly. Yeah. Please get me some mana.
If he doesn't get blue buffs, thankfully he does now, Pawn would be in a lot of trouble.
Well, stack deck working out for Pawn here as well, just getting even more money. Let's mention the added stacks. And I really like getting the Lucidity Boots very early. He does need to have those summoner spells up as much as possible. He can grab the Distortion as well, meaning that Ghost and Flash will be off far quicker than normal. Vici moving down. Deft has to Valkyrie out of the way of the potential two members of Vici.
Yeah, and look at the synchronization on the ultimates here from Clearlove and Pawn. Up reasonably similar timings.
Yeah.
They don't need to focus on that middle lane.
Oh,
This is horrible now,
yeah,
Tom.
he's getting in trouble. That's a pickaxe now, as well as the Titanic Hydra, well and truly getting built towards now by Koro. It's getting worrying.
So there's a passive with the Masteries that you get 20 health back basically at level 1.
Yep.
When you last hit a minion. Koro gets that every time he last hits a minion anyway, because he's Trundle. Look at him.
He's underneath the turret.
He ulted. He doesn't care.
Yeah, well,
The health return.
Exactly.
45.
every time, every tick. Ludicrous.
If you put a W on the ground, you get healing from all sources as well. So use a potion, put the W down, last hit some minions, you get extra health back on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
It is. And you can see already it is working out in Koro's favor. This guy, fantastic top laner in his own right, but now he's 30 CS ahead. Now at 10 minutes into the game, Dandy.
Lulu's here too.
Being forced up here. Yeah, exactly. Koro does have his flash available. Dandy keeping up with him, and there's the end of the line. Koro will go through that, but traffic cone goes up, and Vici, they can't get anything.
No.
Destiny's available as well. Paranoia up at the same time, so they have to be very careful. There are two members of EDG that can be there in the nick of time.
Clearlove is, of course, stalking, expecting them to push the turret, but they don't, Vici, so smart play from them to back off. EasyHoon does have his big item now as well in this laning phase, trying to control Pawn.
Yeah.
If he ever goes missing, you can just pop your ghosts and see where he is, hopefully.
Spooky.
Takes you about 5 seconds to get to a side lane, this Twisted Fate, so you need to be very reactive, EasyHoon.
But at least now people can keep track of him. Abyssal Scepter now completed, speaking of Pawn. He's going to be able to take that one back to the mid lane and help farm out these waves quite nicely. Dandy hanging around that area as his jungle is relatively empty, only some puppies up for him at the moment. Now Tiamat is done. It's even more health regen on top of all the extra damage from Koro and the wave clear potential. And Titanic Hydra only a Giant's Belt and a recipe away.
Here we go.
Package. Special delivery.
Dangerous game to play. Timing the Corki package with the Twisted Fate Nocturne would kill anyone.
Oh, man.
Ever.
This is what's so scary about this comp, is that it's just... There's a lot of playmaking ability from EDG that just doesn't have a lot of answer.
It has none. You can't see them, you can't teleport if you're long.
Yeah.
Nocturne just presses the ultimate. And they can't hide because Pawn's got his.
I guess the answer is lots of vision, right? Vici have to be so diligent.
Even then, you need to see the Nocturne before he's there, and like you're not going to see him sitting in the bush he's in now, as an example. He's waiting.
Yeah, good point.
You'll never know he's there. And then he presses R, and you still don't know where he is till he comes at you.
Oh my goodness. How adorable is this? Even Lucidity boots built up by Clearlove to make sure he can keep up with the Destiny cooldown as much as possible.
I feel like he doesn't need them. That's what I feel like.
I guess they both have 10% CDR right now, don't they? But in goes Mako into the bottom lane as Clearlove makes his way through as well. Pawn comes down, Dandy's there, gold card out. And EDG are going to be able to lock down the AD carry. Caveman just being ignored right now as Koro had teleported in. Dandy just says, nope, I ain't going to be here as long. Finds himself in an awkward position, but they managed to get Clearlove. That's a big deal.
Oh,
big
Poppy.
ultimate from Long. Another knock-up as the Wild Growth comes through, and Pawn completely out of mana. Deft does so much damage on the backside. Koro is eating people, and Caveman has to run away. EasyHoon as well, sped himself up, will pick up Pawn on the back end.
He's still going.
Yeah, 2 for 3 actually in favor of Vici right now as Koro's got a lot of health. EDG want to be able to clean this one up. Traffic Cone will be there relatively soon, but Easy Hoon able to kite out with that Glitter Lance. Nicely played from Vici.
And Easy Hoon comes out massive, 2-0 and 0 from that engage. Lung does get in with the teleport, so he did have to wait a little bit, I'll say, to get in there because of the combo from a Twisted Fate and a Nocturne. But once he gets in and does the damage, that's where it starts to turn around, because not only did that Poppy ultimate knock up 3 people, Lulu's ultimate afterwards on the Poppy knocked them up again. And that was such a long period of time.
Yeah, I thought that I was watching like a Alistair Rek'Sai combination right there, but similar vibe, different champions. And Easy Hoon finds his way back into this game, of course, now has a decent CS lead as well. Aether Wisp picked up by Pawn, going towards what looks like the Lich Bane and his next option. But you can't afford to be dying, because you got that Dark Seal there, Pawn.
Yeah. That's not the greatest.
It's a weird pickup.
I don't know. I hope it's like a Luden's Echo next item instead of Lich Bane for no particular reason.
Oh, Dandy's here in the top lane. Koro went aggressive straight away, has popped the Subjugate. It's going to be difficult for them to secure this kill, but he's going down very low. Clearlove in with the ultimate, but the collateral damage is there, and he's very squishy. Clearlove has to be so careful. He's just back to base now as well as, yeah, Easy Hoon making his way up the river.
Yeah, Easy Hoon, of course, threatening. Pawn says, get out of there, Clearlove. You can't defend the turret. Lung would have dove him anyway. Here we go, bottom.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Def taking so much damage. Gets stunned after the Valkyrie, and thank goodness for the headbutt. He may have just fallen over right there, and Def now still has to be careful. Trinity Force completed, but no lifesteal to speak of just yet.
That Rend annihilated Def's health bar. He did not exist. This is a Trinity Force Corki with a CS lead and 2-0-1 against the 0-1 Callista without even a finished item, and they lost the trade.
Yep.
That makes no sense.
Well, Def may have taken a turret shot, maybe? Not sure. We didn't see the
I think
entire
it was
trade.
Piercing shot, piercing arrow through into Corki at the same time as the Rend.
Yeah. It was definitely a lot of damage.
And potentially Thunderlords. I'm not sure what Endless has.
Well, we'll see. But EDG now going to be giving a lot of respect to Vici's bottom lane. That Fate Spell, of course, is still there. Def dodges out of the way of everything. Really nicely played. Caveman taking a bit of poke. Stand behind me onto Endless. You can see Dandy was making his way down. And Clearlove waiting in the wings. Does have Paranoia available as well.
You can see the experienced Callista players use their piercing arrow offensively. A lot of other Callistas focus on the Rend, but if you use that piercing arrow, it does so much damage when it connects and puts extra Rend stacks into them.
Yeah.
So hard to do, but if it hits.
Yeah, and if you can transfer a lot of stacks from a minion into a player as well, I mean, that's a lot of extra damage. You're exactly right. Sort of the next level stuff. Pawn just continues to farm this lane, but now Easy Hoon with a distinct advantage.
Yeah, Pawn doing what he has to by going for the Abyssal Scepter first item. Not going to be able to die in this lane here, as Easy Hoon, of course, is applying all of the pressure.
Yeah. You can see Koro was forced back just a little bit, and that gap has been closed by Long. Titanic Hydra now completed. Swiftness boots there as well for Koro. He's very happy with his item build currently, but Vici, they're not. They're going to come up and try and kill him, as this turret is going to be taken pretty much organically by Long, who just utilized back timings nicely to get a lot of extra damage after that gank went wrong from Clearlove, and very right for Dandy.
Definitely Pawn actually doesn't
Yeah.
Not sure how that one worked, but
Dodges out of the way. Caveman's here though, as EDG going to start off the Dragon here at 17.5 minutes.
Vici out of position for this one because Dandy's top side of the jungle. They were pressuring the top turret and they're not going to be here in time.
Yeah. Not a lot of priority has been put on this Dragon, of course. First one, 17.5 minutes. Vici, not a lot of vision down there either. No Rift Herald to be taken at the same time.
I feel like it's the same thing. Rift Herald gives you nothing.
Yeah.
Gives you a bit of gold, whereas Dragon gives you that 5th condition. They're just objectives to take to secure your lead. Yeah. And if the game is to go longer, then it's worthwhile. Whereas the Rift Herald, as an example, is small buff, gives your minions damage, but everyone has wave clear at the moment.
Yeah, and it doesn't buff up your minions as much as that Baron buff as well. It's not like the melee minions have 4 billion health.
It's not even like a mini Baron either. It's just damage on the minions. So if you're split pushing and no one's there, you'll take turrets really quickly, but everyone's always there.
Yeah. Well, so far, well played by Vici to make sure that they've kept themselves in it after EDG have hit the level 6s on this Nocturne and Twisted Fate. EasyFoon continuing to farm up quite nicely as Caveman's going to assist him there in the mid lane.
Can you knock a Corki out of the special delivery, Valkyrie?
I'm not sure. I was actually going to ask that, whether he is actually unstoppable during that.
What if the Malphite ulted him halfway? Would he stop?
Oh, rock in a hard place. Immovable object, unstoppable force question. Interesting.
With missiles somehow involved.
Yep. Always better when missiles are involved, really.
So we're waiting for an item spike, I guess, here on the side of EDG. They wanted to make that level 6 gank work more than once to try and snowball an advantage, but the middle lane is the exact opposite of the advantage they were looking for.
Yeah.
And saying that, now starting to get tanky items on Koro, starting to work towards a lot of damage here for Clearlove.
Yeah, he's going for the Sterix Gauge.
He's an assassin.
Yeah, as well as the Hex Drinker. So utility, but mostly the damage. You're exactly right, Rusty.
Off tank.
Off tank.
In other words, still dies quickly.
Yeah. But has a big looking health bar beforehand.
Yeah.
But Sterix Gauge, a very good item here for Nocturne as well. Just because you do need to get right up amongst it, so having that extra shield is going to be necessary.
And 25% of your base AD is massive. It goes up to 50. And then you've also got your Q that you can put on the ground, which increases your damage and move speed.
Yeah, that's very true.
Coupled together, 50% of the bonus on that Q.
You can see Koro eats a chunk out of this mid lane outer turret. Split push happening in the top lane here as well as Pawn's moving towards that outer turret. The answer is going to be from Endless as Pawn cycling through some cards. Finds the red one that he'll get some extra damage on. And the Lich Bane completed, so that tower needed a lot of defense. Caveman makes his way up. Clearlove now moving back towards the mid lane, and they're getting ran around just a little bit. Vici. EDG looking to try and get some deep vision towards their red side jungle. Endless and Caveman now moving back. The Spooky Ghosts come out. Death soaks both of them. And the teleport comes in. Here's the Destiny. Dandy going to be found as well as he's going to be the focus. Deft gets a lot of burst, and they are going to be able to secure it for now. Nice knockups come in from Vici as Deft able to get over the top, but immediately he gets exhausted. Mako now as well wants to get amongst it as the exhaust goes down onto Endless. He's doing so much work though. Picks up a massive amount of kills before falling down. Lung now in trouble as Pawn's able to kite it out. Triple kill for Koro. And Dandy somehow didn't die. Koro underneath the inner turret before the outer's even fallen without a minion wave. Pretty ridiculous, but in the end, it's a 4 for 3 in favor of EDG.
That was the biggest dive in history. They worked it around the turrets, past the turrets into the jungle, and that's where they actually found a point of power. The flank was there from Vici because they had their turrets as safe points, but EDG hiding into the jungle, away from these turrets, away from the extra damage, find themselves with a great pick. And they actually chunk out Dandy to start the fight off. They chunk out EasyHoon to start it off, and honestly, without that effort from Endless and having an early QSS, that fight would have been nothing for Vici, but they did work to get themselves something.
Yeah, and it looked to me like it was going to be all about EDG. Again, EasyHoon with a great wild growth, gets a lot of CC with it, as well as the extra survivability. And you're right, Dandy completely pushed out, but still able to get in there for the safe damage on the back line, which is hard for a Graves when you're so low range.
Absolutely. So Caveman could be caught here.
Ooh, flash burnt already now as Deft actually trying to get some extra damage over the top. As Rocket's doing some work as the rapid fire cannon there now built up. Oh, Pawn. This is dangerous, man. That's a poppy.
I think he wants
so
to
careful.
I think he just wants to poke.
Well, he knows that he's got his team making his way forward. There's another stun to come out.
Oh
Lich Bane
procs
damage of Destiny through here. And Pawn's able to pick up the kill. The ultimate comes out. Destiny is now popped as he's heading towards the mid lane, just looking to defend it.
So that's really funny. It looked like he got knocked away towards mid lane because that's just how the transition of the camera went.
Yeah, it's just, I shouldn't have said Destiny. It's just so much better this way.
The Poppy ulted him all the way to mid lane.
That ultimate needs a nerf, Rusty.
Poppy, Lung didn't actually use his ultimate until he was too late. He died. He was trying to hold on to it. The flank was there from Deft, even if Lung made it as far as he did, so he needed to use that sooner.
Yeah.
To try and get out.
What I really love as well is the Rapid Fire Cannon plus Trinity Force gives you so much extra movement speed on your AD carry. So you've got both of the Zeals now doing work. So Deft, bit of extra range on one of his auto attacks. Those rockets doing a bunch of work just really helps for his maneuverability, especially when he's lacking a bit of peel because his whole team just wants to get right in the face of Vici.
Yeah.
Deft is used to this sort of playstyle though. Just generally plays self-sufficiently, positions very well. Now has even more tools in order to do that.
Absolutely right. Deft. He is probably the most comfortable Corki that I've seen in quite some time. Didn't even rank. There it is. All right. I was wondering where that rank was.
Koro just baited into going for it just there. Pawn now. There's a lot of wave clear. Wild cards, not quite able to clear the backline just yet, but a gold card, red card, sorry, will help out.
So he's probably going to pick the lane that Poppy is in every single time. Having Ghost and Flash, or soon to be Flash, available for Pawn, and having an armor stacked Poppy gives a lot of options here for 1v1ing.
Well, Lung making his way over here as well, so Mako's around. They do clear out the vision. Spooky Ghosts come in. Lung can't quite find an engagement. But I'm looking at this Poppy to really help out Vici towards this mid to late game.
I just don't... The team composition that EDG have got in place right now can 1-3-1 effectively by having a Trundle and an Alistar as the front line and Corki for wave clear.
Yeah.
The amount of wave clear they get from this
And you're talking about having a, Nocturne split pushing, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Nocturne in one lane, or Pawn in one lane and Nocturne stalking Pawn.
Yeah.
To keep him in a comfortable position. That, and even God forbid if they have clear love groups, he's got wave clear on the queue.
And if you talk about safety, I mean, Death's holding the package right now. Just uses it to get towards the dragon, as I believe it was running out.
Yeah, it was.
So, bit of fun.
Still looks great.
May as well use it. If you've got it, you got to use it. One way or another. Pawn already, I mean, so far hasn't built the Magi's just yet. That Dark Seal still hanging out. He liked it. He wanted to put a ring on it, and he wanted to be a bit of a hipster, so not get the ring, the same one that everybody else gets.
Doran's overrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't even have it in his first.
Cool guys get Dark Seals, man.
That is so untrue.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever built one. Well, EasyHoon fighting Koro here in the jungle, just getting bitten right now. Has the Whimsy for a bit of speed up, but you can see Koro just takes no damage. He's got a null magic mantle. That's his magic resist right now, and he just doesn't care about this Lulu.
Absolutely right. He doesn't need to care because you press the R button and the health you get back while you're hitting him is just through the roof. EasyHoon should not be split pushing. EasyHoon is not the answer to Koro. EasyHoon can be the answer to Twisted Fate here for Pawn.
Maybe.
But EDG are running them around the map continuously, swapping lanes. Pawn's gone from bottom to middle to top and is now deciding where he wants to go next.
Yeah, and they have all the outer turrets here as well of EDG. Only one has been taken from Vici there in the top lane. The global gold advantage showing here on the scoreboard. As you can see, 4,000 gold now the lead. Koro once again fighting long. Destiny comes in though. They're looking for EasyHoon in the mid lane. So much burst damage as Pawn almost falls to the burst of Dandy on the other side. Now Deft is in there, able to get a lot of rockets through, but that's the easy pickings for EDG.
And the Sterix Gauge keeps Dandy relatively healthy there as he gets out. Just having to use the flash to get over the wall. Pawn took a lot of damage. Didn't use the Zonias, but he got bursted.
Oh yeah. And Deft now just 1v2. Not feeling too bad right now as the Ren comes down. Still holding on to the Valkyrie, not worried. So he's got the makings of his Infinity Edge come through right now.
It's just one positional mistake, and EDG will catch you out.
Yeah, Lung now as well has to deal with Koro's just smacking him down. Mako can't headbutt him right now, but W wearing off. Wants to be able to steal away the blue buff, but not going to be able to, because it is going to be Deft that picks that one up. When you've got two people that want a blue buff, may as well just grab the enemy's one as well.
They know that Pawn's top lane right now. They may even try and pick here.
Yeah, no Destiny available. As Koro's just going to face check. He doesn't even look like he minds too much as he gets stunned up. Dandy with a lot of damage, but he just wanders along the ground that he really likes. And Mako, he's got the ultimate, but he's going to get engaged on once again. Deft shows his face and they immediately turn. Nice pulverize from Mako as they're just holding the Rend. This cow is in a lot of trouble. Has to use the flash in order to get out. EDG trying to move away from this Vici squad as there's the exhaust. They may have overextended now though, but Pawn doesn't care. He's still in the top lane. Just wants to take an inner turret. And EDG are just fine right now. Def.
Just disengaging.
Yeah, decent positioning on the offside, but Vici just getting their back stopped. They can't deal with this Twisted Fate.
It's just desperate there already from Vici. They find a pick, and then they decide, we know that he's top. We need to team fight. Pawn's out.
Yep, Destiny.
And the turret's gone.
Oh, take some Krugs as well, Pawn. Really just rub the salt in.
2 turrets for nothing here for Vici Gaming. They got run around the map basically from the moment Pawn hit level 6.
Yeah.
Clearlove has joined him. They're running back and forth, and it is so difficult to kill any of them. One's a Trundle, one's an Alistar, and you're never going to be in range of Deft on his Corki.
And this is what we were expecting from EDG last week, right? Just another day in the office, looking like they're in all of this control. They were known for making teams run around the map to the beat of their drum, and not to Vici's or anybody else's. This is what we were expecting. Clearlove, of course, 1, 2, and 5. Not exactly the best performance so far, but this looks like a different team out of EDG. And it's not necessarily, I don't think it's like Fireloli's play. It's just having Clearlove on the lineup and them just feeling so much more comfortable because they just all look like they're very different. Mako is not really proving my point right now as the Unbreakable Wheel does come in. He's looking for the potential re-engage. The teleport's here from Koro as he finds his way right into the backline. The traffic cone's up, but Long is getting so dead so fast. The ultimate comes out. Wild Growth's there as Deft is doing so much damage. Caveman falls as well. The tanky line is dead now. Paranoia comes in. Easy Hoon's down. Dandy's going to die, and Endless cannot do anything. That's the 5-0 in favor of EDG. Looks like they can do this all day. Mako gets caught out, and then they all turn around and destroy the Vici lineup. Mako doesn't even die.
Where has this EDG team been? This is ridiculous from them. And that was another engage from Vici Gaming that just looked fantastic. The knockup combination was there.
Yeah.
But they just can't be out team fought EDG. Saving the Nocturne ultimate, saving the Twisted Fate flash, and even his Zonias until the last second. And they just destroy their way through the game and win at 30 minutes.
Yep, 1, 1, and 10 for Pawn in the end as well, so that Darkseal not getting quite the stacks that they want, but we're looking towards the top lane. We're looking towards this support position. 2, 1, and 10 for Mako down there, and 4, 1, and 6 for Koro. This is a man that had a 1.6 KDA coming into this game, and is now looking brilliant for EDG. Transformation on the Rift now that Clearlove joins the roster.
And you said it yourself. It's not his performance individually.
No.
It's just Clearlove being on the team. It feels like the communication is there, or that everyone is more comfortable with Clearlove being
more
there.
fun as well. I mean, they're playing a Twisted Fate Nocturne comp.
That's a good comp. I'm going to stand by that.
Oh, yeah, but it just looks like a lot of fun to play, right? You just pop in Destinies, you're starting fights whenever you want.
It's the way that they executed the comp, to be fair.
Yeah.
And sure, it's a fun-looking comp, but with Reckless Abandon at level 6, diving a Poppy...
and Pawn teleporting actually next to that turret.
Yeah. So
worked out well.
Effective play here from EDG. The shot calling could be the thing. It just could be that they're happier and they're playing with this newfound comfort by having Clearlove back in the team. Fireloli could be a lot of pressure for these guys having to overperform, knowing they've got a new jungler there.
And getting used to a new voice on their lineup as well, especially one as vocal as Clearlove, who's been around in the jungle. They understand his playstyle. They know sort of what he's normally doing on the map, and it takes a bit of time when you've got this sort of very pivotal role in your team that's not necessarily worse or better or anything like that. It's just different, and you've got to get used to the change.
You do have to get used to the change. I cannot dispute that whatsoever, and coming back to a comfortable thing, again, changes your mentality and mindset around that. You don't have to have any changes. That's why they've also got Pawn here in the middle lane, opposed to Athena, because adding an extra dimension. And when they were adding 2 extra dimensions by having Fireloli and Athena, the communication, you have to say, just as a base level, is not going to be there yet for those 2 players. So coming back to this main roster, obviously it's hit a point now in the season where, sure, they've only played 1 series. They're 0-1 in another series. They need to start actually just getting wins to be at least near the top of the table before they consider bringing back Fireloli and Athena.
Yeah, I think that's a good point as well, especially Fireloli. I mean, Athena has had up and down performances, but I just think that Clearlove is such a linchpin for this EDG roster. He played every single game last year, apart from maybe 1 or 2. We are going to go through and have a look at how this game worked. You see the Fates call's great. The Wild Growth is brilliant there as well. EDG somehow still managed to come out ahead after kiting this fight around.
And this was the triple kill for Koro, working towards a quadra kill in this game. monstrous amounts of damage out of this Trundle. And he was just the one that nobody saw to address. He wasn't an issue. It was a Twisted Fate and a Nocturne diving in your backline.
Well, you're forced to deal with the Twisted Fate and at least the Corki as well. So,
and this, again, saving the Zhonya's for as long as physically possible against a Graves burst is a sign of confidence here from Pawn.
Oh, man.
Super smart play. And even the confidence, rocket flash auto from everything that EDG did in this game. Every single moment that they made a decision on a team fight was with the utmost confidence.
Yeah, and it almost looked cocky like by Pawn. And we've seen him play like this before. When Pawn's playing like he feels good, you can see it in his playstyle, like buying a Dark Steel, teleporting underneath turrets, but it works because he's doing it with such confidence.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like a Wayless style of thing as well.
Exactly.
The guy needs some confidence. He needs a clear love jungle.
Someone needs to go talk to Wayless about it, though.
That's what
Man,
he
I
needs.
mean, that turnaround hasn't happened yet. I'm looking forward to when it does because we've seen him in his prime. But let's not talk about LGD. This makes me sad.
It's all right. Of course, EDG, that's a good first game back for Clear Love and Pawn in this roster.
Yeah, but there were definitely signs of life from Vici. We are going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, we'll see whether Vici can answer the already victorious EDG here on The Rift.